Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Syed Mustafa Safavi, a cybersecurity researcher and academic with a focus on AI, system architecture, and digital security. I'm joined by Sarah Johnson, a tech entrepreneur and strategist working across emerging technologies. In this podcast series, we combine academic insight and real-world practice to explore critical topics in tech and innovation. Whether you're a student, professional, or enthusiast, you'll gain a balanced perspective grounded in both theory and application. Make sure to subscribe, follow, and join us on this journey as we unpack the future of technology, one episode at a time. Hey, today we're diving into the fascinating world of computer memory and storage, including endianness. There's so much to unpack here, right?
Absolutely. It's like exploring the very skeleton of a computer system. I mean, every single bit counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's like a multi-layered cake, starting from the tiniest registers right up to bulky secondary storage. Each layer has its own role, and together, they make everything run smoothly.
So, let's kick things off with the fundamentals. When we talk about computer memory, what's the key idea there?
The idea is pretty straightforward. Computer memory is the place where data, in the form of bits, zeros and ones, resides. Every memory cell holds 8 bits, and these cells come together to form everything we need to store data.
Every little cell is crucial. And then we've got those measurements, bits, nibbles, bytes, kilobytes, and so on, like building blocks, yes?
Exactly. Each unit scales from the previous one. Like a nibble is 4 bits, a byte is 8 bits, and a kilobyte is 10 to 24 bytes, kind of like stacking blocks to construct a skyscraper.
Stacking up perfectly. Now, about that memory hierarchy you mentioned earlier, internal versus external memory, right?
Right on. Internal memory is what the CPU can access directly. That's your registers, cache, and main memory, while external or secondary memory consists of devices like magnetic disks, optical disks, and even magnetic tapes.
Exactly, a clear division that affects speed and cost. And registers, for instance, are super small but super fast, correct?
Yes, registers are the tiniest and fastest memory units inside the CPU. They're just there for temporary storage while the CPU does its number crunching.
They're like the quick access notepad for the CPU. And then there's cache memory, which really speeds up the communication between the CPU and main memory.
Right. Cache memory is like having your most used recipes right on the kitchen counter, so you don't have to rummage through a giant cookbook every time. It sits between the CPU and main memory, ensuring that frequently accessed data is available almost instantly.
Absolutely, that immediate access is critical. Speaking of main memory, that's where most of the action happens, isn't it?
Definitely. Main memory or primary memory holds data and programs that the processor is actively using. It's accessed through address buses and data buses. They work together to fetch instructions for the CPU.
A well-orchestrated duet. And within main memory, we've got RAM and ROM playing different roles, right?
Exactly. RAM is the volatile part. It loses data when the power goes off, while ROM is non-volatile, permanently storing essential programs like the firmware that boots up the computer.
Yeah, it's like transient scribbles versus a written-in-stone directive. And diving further into RAM, there's SRAM and DRAM, each with its own quirks.
Right. SRAM retains its data as long as power's supplied, making it super reliable for the CPU's immediate needs, whereas DRAM, while cost-effective and denser, only holds data for a few milliseconds before it needs refreshing. It's like the difference between, a quick sticky note and a continuously updating whiteboard.
Then there's the whole DDR lineup, DDR SDRAM and DDR2, which use double pumping and multiplexing techniques. That's really clever, isn't it?
Absolutely. These techniques allow data to be transferred on both the rising and falling edges of the clock signal, effectively doubling the data throughput without increasing the frequency. In DDR2, They even widen the bus for additional speed. It's like squeezing more water from the same hose without turning up the pressure too much.
Exactly, it's engineering at its finest. Now let's move our gaze outwards to secondary storage. This is where things get really, massive, right?
For sure. Secondary storage is non-volatile and comparatively slow, but it makes up for that with its huge capacity and affordability. Think of it as the long-term memory, where all your files like photos and videos are kept safe even when the system is off.
That's the digital attic. And the way files are organized there varies too, with methods like contiguous, linked, and indexed allocation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Contiguous allocation is super fast, but can lead to fragmentation. Linked allocation is great for sequential access, but not so much for random access. And indexed allocation is a sort of compromise that uses index blocks to organize data. It's kind of like choosing between a neatly ordered library and a chaotic pile of magazines.
Yeah, a trade-off for every scenario. Now, there's one more topic that really gives this discussion a twist: endianness. Teacher-level detail that often confounds beginners.
Oh yeah, endianness is all about the order in which bytes are stored in memory. There are two types, big endian and little endian.
A really critical detail in low-level programming. So in big endian, the most significant byte is at the smallest memory address, whereas in little endian, it's the least significant byte that lives at the smallest address. That sound about right?
Exactly. To give you a concrete example, consider the 32-bit hexadecimal value 0x12345678. In big endian, address 0x00 holds 0x12, then 0x34 at 0x01, and so forth, ending with 0x78. But in little endian, it flips such that 0x78 is at address 0x00, and 0x12 winds up at address 0x03.
Crystal clear. That really reminds me a bit of reading a sentence backwards. It's amazing how just the order can change how you interpret the value.
Yeah, it's like reading a book from right to left instead of left to right. And, there's always a debate. Some argue big endian is better for understanding sign and comparative operations, while little endian is often more efficient for arithmetic operations involving large numbers.
Both sides have their valid points indeed. I've heard that some systems even support both endianness, giving programmers extra flexibility. Is that common?
Yes, indeed. Systems like certain Motorola and MIPS architectures can toggle between big and little endian modes, which is pretty neat because it allows them to better handle different software requirements.
Absolutely. That kind of adaptability can be a lifesaver in complex integrations. Coming back to memory capacity, it's interesting how we're not just talking about storage size. It's all about precision in measurement, from bits up to petabytes.
Right. Understanding units is key. A bit's the smallest unit, then nibbles, bytes, and so on. For instance, 1 kilobyte is 10 to 24 bytes instead of a simple 1000. And then we scale up to megabytes, gigabytes, and even petabytes. It's like cooking. You need to measure every ingredient precisely to get the right result, yeah?
Every detail is vital, especially in high-speed processing where even a minor error could lead to major glitches.
Exactly, and not only that, the different access times for various storage types, like the nanoseconds for cache versus milliseconds for secondary storage, shows the careful balance engineers must strike when designing systems.
Yes, it's a tightly choreographed dance between speed and capacity. I find it amazing that despite these complexities, we can integrate all these elements, from registers to flash memory, to create a seamless computing experience.
Absolutely. While there's a lot of challenge, especially when it comes to ensuring data consistency between different memory layers, the overall architecture is designed to work harmoniously. It's truly a marvel of modern engineering.
Technology never ceases to amaze. Now, I do have one point I'd like to debate a bit. Some folks say that the intricacies of endianness can be a real pain when porting software between different systems. Do you think that's a major issue?
I get where you're coming from, and honestly, misinterpretations of endianness can create bugs, especially in low-level programming. However, With careful design and modern programming practices, many of those challenges are effectively managed. It's like a language barrier that you learn to overcome over time.
I agree, but it definitely requires extra care. Yeah, extra care and rigorous testing. All this detail really shows how deep computer architecture goes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Every element, from memory hierarchies to nuanced details like DDR timing and byte order, plays a pivotal part in making our computers run efficiently
Every bit of it matters.
and reliably.
And when you think about the evolution of these systems and even the emerging tech like flash memory and cloud storage, it's an ever-evolving field.
Definitely. The continual advancements are ensuring that even though fundamentals like memory hierarchy remain, the technologies are ever adapting, scaling in size, speed, and efficiency to meet modern demands.
Yep, a perfect blend of legacy and innovation. It's really exciting when you think about how these behind-the-scenes mechanisms power every tech device we use.
Right? It's the unseen engine of our digital lives. Understanding both the fundamentals and the fine details, like memory capacity calculations or the nuances of endianness, gives us a neat glimpse into the art of computing.
Well, this dive has been incredibly enlightening. It's amazing how each level of memory and storage works in unison, ensuring our systems are both robust and efficient.
Totally. It's been a riveting discussion. Even though there are challenges, like ensuring correct data ordering between endianness systems and managing refresh cycles in DRAM, the big picture is a beautifully orchestrated blend of art and technology.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks for this deep dive into computer memory, storage, and endianness. It's given me a lot to think about regarding the intricacies behind every data transaction in our devices.
Thank you. It's been a fast-paced tour through the fundamentals and the finer points. Until next time, keep exploring the layers that power our digital world.